YouTube, Rook here from Rook Geek Goodness, my little channel on the web for all things geeky and cool. And today, guys, we have another Funko review. I picked up these three pops you see here from the Darkwing Duck set of pops on a recent toy hunt. I'll put a link above here so you can actually see the toy hunt where I actually got these guys. I'm super stoked and super excited to actually pick these up. Now, I actually did a lot of research going into this particular video because where I thought this had some type of relation to, say, Batman, that's entirely not correct. The three pops you see here, of course, we're looking at Darkwing Duck, Launchpad Mcquack, and of course Gosselin Mallard, which is of course in this situation Darkwing's adopted daughter. But doing the research for this video, I was rather surprised to learn that it's not based on Batman at all. It's based on the 1930 serial The Shadow. I'll put a picture up here so you can see what The Shadow was all about. It was an old school vigilante that was created back in the 1930s through original radio serial continuation stories. It actually branched out into both TV, media, comics, video games, and of course movies. So what they decided to do for Disney is take the idea of The Shadow, make a parody of it, and create the character of Darkwing Duck, which is what you see here. Now that cartoon actually debuted back in the 90s. Actually, I believe 1990-91 is when the actual cartoon ran. There's big theories that they're actually going to bring it back, but they did actually create a new comic for Darkwing Duck. So with that being said, guys, I'm dropping some knowledge on you like I always said I do. We're going to go into a breakdown segment. We're going to look at the entire packaging for all three figures. We're going to look at, again, the packaging, the paint, any articulations the figures may have, and any accessories they may have. In this case, they don't. So what we're going to do is go into breakdown. See you guys in a second. Stay tuned. Okay, guys, we're in our breakdown segment looking at all three pops of the Darkwing Duck wave. We have Darkwing Duck himself, number 296. We have Launchpad Mcquack, number 297. And of course, we have Gosselin Mallard, which is 298. Now, there are two additional pops which I'll touch base on at the end of this particular video, which I'll go into further details. First, let's actually look at Darkwing Duck himself. Again, this is pop number 296. It is sponsored by Disney, as this is a Disney cartoon. It's out of their standard pop wave, which is kind of surprising. You would think this would be in the animation series or the television series of pops, but it's not. So I was a little surprised by that. Of course, we have a picture down here of Darkwing. On the side, you have a side shot of the actual character. On this side, we have the Darkwing Duck name. We have a picture of his face, and of course, on the top here, the same sort of deal. On the back, it showcases all three pops in a particular wave, as we're looking at. Again, we have a side shot of Darkwing here. Next, we'll look at the packaging for Launchpad Mcquack. He actually really debuted in the DuckTales cartoon, not in Darkwing Duck himself. So we have Launchpad right here. So again, side shot, Disney over here, 297 is the number. Again, it says Pops. We have Launchpad Mcquack at the bottom. We have, of course, the side shot of Launchpad. We have the words Launchpad Mcquack. Side shot of his head, and of course, the same thing at the top. And the back packaging is identical to the Darkwing Duck one. And last but not least is Ghazwan Mallard, which was the debuted in the actual Darkwing Duck cartoon. That's the only place she actually debuted. It is his actual adopted daughter in the actual cartoon itself. She is the number 298 out of this wave. Again, Disney. You have Ghazwan Mallard listed at the bottom. A side shot of her here. She has a really large head with the pigtails, so she's very, very top heavy as well. And you have Ghazwan Mallard listed on the side here. Again, side shot of her head or cut off shot of her head, and same thing for her head here. So what we do is come back from a break in a second, come back from a cut, and get all three of these guys out of packaging. Okay, guys, we have the Darkwing Duck, all three pops out of packaging. They look really, really good. All clean paint on all three of them. So let's actually go through the very first one. We're going to go from, in the way you're seeing it, we're going to go from left to right. For me, it's right to left. So we're going to go with Darkwing first, number 296. Great pop. Very, very clean design. He does have the outfit, which is very similar to the character I talked about at the beginning of the video, The Shadow. He sports a very similar type of hat, as you can see here. He has the kind of hidden little bandana around his eyes, little mask he's wearing to cover his identity up. He does actually share a name very similar to the character of The Shadow itself. They just kind of flipped a few letters around because his name is Mallard, which I thought that was a throwback to him being a duck, Mallard Duck. But that's actually very close to the name of the character of The Shadow, which again threw me off. I didn't really think going into this video anything about The Shadow. But that all things considered, this is a great looking pop. I love how he has his hands on his hips so to speak, right down here. Looks very, very nice. No issues with the cape at all. It does have this little kind of bend on the inside frills of the cape. I do like how that looks. Again, very clean pop, no issues, no bobblehead, thank God. So, you know, the only articulation we do have on this one is the head does spin complete 360 and no accessories. But Darkwing looks amazing. I really wish they'd make a variant of him holding his gas gun, maybe in a different sort of pose down the line somewhere. I think that would look really, really amazing. So Darkwing was number 296. Next we have Launchpad Mcquack. He actually did debut in DuckTales, as I mentioned earlier. He was a friend of Scrooge McDuck. Great looking design on him. I've never seen a Launchpad Mcquack figure yet in any Funko design. They might have actually created one, but I have not yet seen one, so I'm not entirely sure about that. He is an actual flyer. He flies a plane around in the actual cartoon. He has his aviator sort of goggles on. They are sculpted onto the actual head itself. Just very similar to Darkwing. The head does spin 360. The head's a little tight, so you see how to break the head in here. No bad paint from what I'm seeing. Everything looks pretty solid, pretty clean. I do like the design, the way it looks, and there are of course no figure stands for him, just like there's no figure stand for Darkwing. Now we conclude with Gosselin Mallard. She is again Darkwing Duck's adopted daughter. Very, very small design and scale. So if we put him next to, let's say, Launchpad, he basically dwarfs her in size, but which is fine. She's very close in size to Darkwing, though, which is, you would think the scale, she might be a little smaller compared to Darkwing because she's actually a kid in the cartoon. But all things considered, she looks really, really good. She looks like she jumped right out of the actual cartoon. All three of them look like they jumped out of the cartoon, which is one reason I like all three of these particular pops. The pigtails she has here are very, they're solid, they're vinyl, and she's just like the other ones. The head does spin complete 360, no bobblehead, thankful for that. I thought she might have had a figure stand, but she does not have one because she has a very, very small body. I had concerned that she might fall over, but she stands really, really well. So getting all three of them back in the shot here, I do like all three of these pops. I highly, highly recommend the Darkwing Duck pops number 296, 297, and 298. And with that being said, let's go to final thoughts and wrap up this video. Okay guys, final thoughts on the Funko Pop number 296 Darkwing Duck, 297 Launchpad Mcquack, and 298 Ghazwan Mallard. This is definitely a buy in my opinion. This is a great throwback to my early 20s when I actually saw the Darkwing Duck cartoon. I absolutely loved this cartoon growing up. I loved the Darkwing Duck character. He was corny, he was silly, he was funny. He sort of bumbled through his way through crimes and actually caught the bad guy. Now, one thing that I didn't touch upon in the actual breakdown segments, there are actually going to be 2 more pops for the Darkwing Duck wave. I'll put a picture up here, which will be the Negatron Duck, which is going to be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which is part of the San Diego Comic-Con wave of pops coming out at the end of July. I'm not sure exactly which store will have it. It's either probably going to be a shared release, hopefully not just San Diego Comic-Con, maybe through Hot Topic, Barnes & Nobles, maybe FYE. One of those stores hopefully will have the Negatron Darkwing Duck figure. It's basically him in a glow-in-the-dark variant, same outfit, same type of pose, just black and white basically. That's what the actual figure will look like. Coming out in June, of course this video is being shot in July, so it should be out at your stores now, is a Negaduck version of Darkwing Duck, which is the negative universe of Darkwing Duck. Think of him as, I mentioned it in the Toy Hunt video, as the Reverse Flash type of idea. But I absolutely love all these pops. This is definitely a buy in my opinion, as I said before. Going into this video, I said at the beginning of this, I had no clue this was based upon the 1930 serial The Shadow. I was super surprised. I mean, yes, The Shadow's a vigilante and he actually carries around 245s. Of course, Darkwing Duck uses a gas gun, but, non-violent and wanted to keep it sort of kid-friendly, and I understand the actual approach they took. I wish they'd maybe make a variant of him with the gas gun out. I think that'd be really, really cool as well. So I hope you liked this video review, guys. Click that like button. Always click that subscribe button, and you can click Windows over here to watch more of my content. Take care, guys. I'll see you next video, and bye-bye.